Federally, Nunavut has two representatives, Senator Dennis Patterson and NDP MP Lori Idlout. Up until recently, Patterson was a Conservative senator. He left the Conservative caucus during the convoy protests in Ottawa, disappointed at Conservative support for the protesters. So now that he's independent, he reached out to Idlout. Together, they made recommendations for the federal Liberals that they both agree with. Every Liberal cabinet minister has received a mandate letter, spelling out their priorities. Idlout and Patterson took those letters and tried to find the parts that could apply to Nunavut. Idlout explains.
We basically represent different parties. Generally, I guess, I was okay with just making the focus on how to help keep the Liberals accountable to the promises that they made and the mandate letters that were issued to the ministers.
One of the big asks from the two, funding for a proposed hydro connection that would see Nunavut's central Kivalliq region tapped into the southern power grid.
It seems to make sense that because of the infrastructure that's needed to help get the Kivalliq communities off of diesel to get them on this hydro link. That's the type of investments that were needed.
One constant irritant for Nunavut's leaders is when the feds dole out healthcare funding on a per capita basis. Nunavut is Canada's biggest region with the smallest population. Per capita is a non-starter here.
Nunavut has the fewest in population, and because of our smaller population, we tend to get funding that is not meeting our needs. We know that there is a huge reliance on medical travel because the health system is just not adequate. Too many Nunavummiut have to leave their home communities for basic healthcare services.
Russia's actions in Ukraine has people looking at the northern border again. According to Idlout and Patterson, sovereignty in the Arctic depends on strong communities. Can that military funding be accessed to improve the quality of life in those communities?
Nunavummiut don't have the adequate resources to engage in Arctic security the same way that other Arctic countries might be able to. I had one conversation with Premier PJ Akerok once, and he made such a great point that if Nunavummiut are going to be engaged in the protection of the Arctic, they need proper housing.
The Liberals have priorities. They spelled them out in the mandate letters. Now Nunavummiut have to see if what they want to see happen can fit inside one of the government's priorities. That's what Idlout and Patterson are up to. And we get to see if anyone listens. Kent Driscoll, APTN National News, Iqaluit.